Couples who are soon to be wed are considering their most important assets as they detail their prenups. And what could be more important or more valuable than our fur babies? And so apparently more and more couples are now including prenup provisions regarding who gets the pets should their marriage fall apart. Okay, so this has to do with like evolving attitudes around animal ethics. It also has to do with how I think Americans view their pets overall, right? Like, I think a lot of people, especially those who like forgo having children, do see their pets as like a family member, right? Actually, people who have children feel that way as well. And so, apparently, out of 9 divorce attorneys and mediators who discussed pet provisions with Business Insider, 8 said that they had some firsthand experience with them. And according to a 2024 survey of 1,000 pet owners conducted by Rover, more than 80% of pet parents are in favor of proactively arranging their pet's future ahead of any potential split. That's no surprise for a population that considers their pets as much a part of their family as other humans, according to a 2023 Pew Research survey. Now, we're talking about surveys where they're self-reporting, but only about 28% of pet owners or pet parents actually have an official pet agreement of any sort. And there are some divorce attorneys that spoke to Business Insider for this story. One of them is Jacqueline Newman from New York. She says, very often I find people will fight more about a pet than over money, which gives me a lot of faith in our fellow Americans, to be honest with you. So I've got more details, including what these provisions usually say. But John, you now have both pets and a child. And so I'm curious what you think about a pet provision in a prenup.
I think that one of you should get one and one of you should get the other. Like, you can have a kid or you can have the dog. You make the choice. I think it's fine. I guess I've never had a relationship where I got a new pet as part of the relationship. I've brought pets into relationships. And so I guess I've never really had to think about, like, would you get the animal or not? I guess that would be pretty tough, actually. I've had Hilo for so long and he's in such rough shape recently. I'm just thinking, you take him if you want. I'm kidding, obviously. I love him, but he is in rough shape. He's an old dude. Yeah, it almost seems like the sort of thing that you shouldn't have to do a prenup for. I feel like there should be something simpler, because I can't imagine that if you're going to all the trouble of setting up a prenup for that it's going to be limited just to that. And I think a lot of people don't want to do prenups because I think there's a lot of social stigma about them. So some people might avoid clarifying a situation on behalf of the pet that probably should be. I feel like there should be a specific thing. I don't know if Rover or Grover or whatever is offering it, but it is interesting. I wonder, people watching, if they would, like, is there an unspoken sort of understanding about who's the dominant parent with their pet? I mean, I'm assuming you feel like you have a legitimate claim to Charlie.
Obviously. Like, and don't get me wrong.
Or is it?
Christian, obviously, like, we do split the responsibilities for sure. It's not like I take care of Charlie more than he does or vice versa. Although I will say I feel greater urgency in walking Charlie than Christian does. Like, Christian's like, it's okay, we can wait maybe another 30 minutes. I'm like, no. When you really have to pee, do you like tell yourself, oh man, I can wait another 30 minutes? Oh, you gotta pee. Okay, poor dog. Like, dog wants, dog gets. Okay, dog wants to go for the walk. We go for the walk. Anyway, no, he's awesome with Charlie. But okay, you said something that really stood out to me. You said there's social stigma associated with prenups. I don't necessarily think that's true. What I do think is that broaching that topic with your partner is super awkward. And, I talked a big game before I got married. I remember doing segments with Cenk, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have my fiance sign a pre. I didn't even bring it up. It's just, when you're engaged, like, the last thing you want to bring up is like, okay, how are we gonna split up our assets in case we get a divorce? I know some people are able to do it. I was unable to do it. And so I've already accepted that, God forbid, something goes wrong and our marriage ends. We're going to split 50-50. Like we're a team. And so I feel good about that if that day ever comes, because I lean on him, he leans on me. You get the point. But I will kidnap Charlie, and at gunpoint if I need to.
You'll abandon your home. He can have that. It's you, Thelma and Louising with Charlie hanging his head out the window of a car.
Oh my God, I can totally visualize that. Yeah, I mean, there is no material good I own that's more valuable to me than my dog. So yeah, that's definitely the case. And so what that New York-based attorney said really, come on. What that New York-based attorney said really spoke to me. You know, how oftentimes she finds that couples will fight about the pets more than they fight about the money or like the material assets.
Yeah.
So
I think, look, the idea that you would theoretically jointly raise a dog for a number of years and then end up losing it to your partner probably sucks, especially because it's not just that you're losing the dog, it's a person who you probably don't have the warmest feeling toward is taking the dog. But also think of it not just as a crisis, but an opportunity to get a hot new young dog, a new pup or something.
I don't want it.
Come on, that's great.
I want my Charlie.
What about this? Here's an idea. Okay, so the way that we generally legally help to make the divvying up of assets simpler is the prenup process. But as we've both described in different ways, it's socially difficult, okay? Because you have to have that talk, you sit down with a lawyer, it's obviously hot and romantic and everything. What about this? What if instead, before you get married, you both either just write out independently or meet with a lawyer individually with how you want things to be divvied up. And then both of you do that. And it goes into a lockbox only to be opened in the event of a divorce. That way, what you were thinking when you were in love is what's gonna like rule the day. It's not that your thoughts have changed over the years or now you're really mad, so you're totally going back on what you might have said. It's a lockbox of love.
Wait,
I think that could work.
But part of the prenup process is negotiating. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really interested in like a wild card surprise.
No, the negotiations will still happen, but based on principles established independently when you were in a healthy place.
I just think you should learn what the gun laws are in your state. And, you know, if you need to use force to save your pet, then you got to do what you got to do.
Defend your dog. Or if the dog needs to use deadly force to save you, their chosen preferred parent.
Not deadly. Let's be clear. Not deadly. I'm not advocating for that. Coercive. Okay?
You will keep being shot in your lower extremities until you let me have this dog.
Okay, so look, let's talk about what the provisions usually say, because I think there's the right way to do this and then the wrong way to do this. So apparently many agreements allow for a more structured pet parenting plan, not dissimilar to a custody agreement with kids, known in the industry as a co-parenting agreement, which no one calls it that. Business Insider, no one calls it that. Don't try to make it a thing. But I would not want that. I would want a clean break. I don't want to do co-parenting with the dog. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. What do you think?
No, I don't. Again, hot new puppy. Like, get yourself a Shiba Inu, something exotic, you know, mix it up. I'm just saying, it's like, come on, you're gonna be like, you need a firm break. And especially in this case, look, if you're already doing that for the kids, then I guess maybe adding a dog doesn't make it much rougher than undone. But like, otherwise, you could have a clean break.
Exactly.
Just come on.
I'm in favor of the clean break, but I take the dog. Many pet provisions also include this is, I think, a little much, but I don't know. Many pet provisions also include financial details for the animal known as Petimony. No one says that. Such as
is this an SNL sketch or Business Insider article?
Business Insider's trying to like start something, you know, like, oh, let's like start a new trend, like make up some new words. No, like who calls it that?
They're basically trying to make fetch happen when it comes to these dogs.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. But apparently, like a financial agreement where the person who doesn't have the dog or the cat or the pet contributes for food, litter costs, vet bills, which can be expensive. I'll admit that. Grooming. I'm going to keep it simple. Just give me the dog. You don't have to pay for leave me alone. Like, leave the dog alone. The dog is now mine. We're good. Clean break.
Wait, let's talk about Petimony for a second. And anything I say is just about Petimony. I'm not questioning alimony or whatever. I'm not trying to become a right-wing male podcaster. So you're telling me that both of these partners desperately want this dog, so much so that they have a prenup about it, and one wins out and gets the dog. They get what they want. And the other person who doesn't get the dog has to pay for you to have a well-groomed dog they don't have anymore?
Quite the injustice, no?
It's not their kid. What the hell? Seems ridiculous to me.
I mean, I could see a situation in which they're fighting over who gets the pet because neither one of them wants the responsibility. But then don't get the. No, I don't think
you just take it out to the gravel pit and you do what conservatives do.
Stop. Don't even say that. Don't even float that idea. I'm so offended. John, you of all people said that? You, John. I'm like the nicest guy in the company. You said that?
I'm not gonna shoot a dog in the head. Be drowning or something. Who has a gun?
I can't listen to this.
I'm kidding, obviously. Worst case scenario, a mercy killing for a particularly old dog. But no, a healthy dog, I'm not doing anything. There's no old Yeller situation going on. There's nothing.
All right, well, John took it to a real dark place. So apologies, everyone. Apologies. You guys thought he was the nice guy.
I do want a new young puppy, but yeah.